Hey everyone, welcome back to the Beauty School Bobbi podcast. I am here today with three friends to talk about the LEAD program, a bachelor's degree in the beauty industry. They have just completed the program and are going to tell us all about their experience with LEAD. So I'm here with Shannon McCarthy, Alex Torres, and Sean Stroupe to tell us about LEAD. So thank you all so much for being here with me today.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Good to be here.
LEAD, Rolf's Global Institute, powered by L'Oreal USA PPD, represents a new era in beauty. LEAD has created the world's first college and university degree program pathway for beauty professionals, transforming the future of the beauty industry through higher education. The goal of this global movement is to create a new future for beauty professionals, providing them with a wider range of opportunities. It's time for beauty professionals to enjoy the financial freedom, impact, and respect that they deserve. LEAD also provides scholarship opportunities to eligible students worldwide. You are invited to join this global initiative and be part of the future. For more information, please go to leadinstitute.degree.
So one of the things that I wanted to talk about is what this experience was like for you going back to school. So obviously you all have had really successful careers in the beauty industry already when you decided to take on this new challenge of earning a bachelor's degree. So I want to talk to you about what that looked like and when you decided to add on this program or to add this into your life, because with a busy career, we know that adding something in is not always easy. So Shannon, I want to ask you, when did you decide that LEAD was something that you wanted to pursue?
So I would say that for me, getting my bachelor's degree was always something that I had dreamed of doing. And then to your point, life just kind of gets in the way, right? So I built a successful career. It wasn't something that I felt like I had needed. And when I saw this opportunity with LEAD come about and to be going through it with the L'Oreal cohort, I jumped at the chance, right? Because I knew that it would give me a new skill set while really leveraging the ones that I already have so that I could continue to grow and reach new heights and in a way almost prove something to myself, even if I didn't need it for the role and the function that I was in.
Yeah. And so when this was offered, you knew that this was something that would elevate you into maybe a different position in the company or just getting you to a different point, like in the business. What was like the main drive for you?
Sure. So definitely, career trajectory long term so that I could have that bachelor's degree. And ultimately, my goal is to go on and get my master's. So that was really a stepping stone for me to then be able to go on and get my MBA, which will unlock even more opportunity within the professional beauty space.
Yes, that's amazing. And doing that with kids, you completed all of this with two little kids. So when you started the program, did you have two already, or did you just have one at the time?
I didn't. So I had one. And just as I received the call to say that I was accepted into the program, I learned that I was pregnant with my second. And I had a very big decision in front of me. But I dove, all in to feed my whole body to get into this experience. And, having the support of the cohort was really helpful as well. We have, as a cohort, nicknamed my second child Baby Rolf. I think Sean coined that term. His name is actually Maxwell, but he's little baby Rolf for those in my cohort. So it was challenging for sure, but it helped me learn a lot about myself and who I am. And it's a story that I'm really excited to share with my kids when they are grown.
Yeah, I always say that I think that one of the things that maybe we didn't know growing up was the way that as moms that we were going to be like setting an example. And I think that never clicked in my head until my children were actually like here. But to be like, I'm setting an example for them. So for you to be able to tell Maxwell, like, hey, like I was going through school and I was working and I was that, like, I just think it's so amazing. And I know that, like, I'm sure for him to be like proud of you at that point, at some point down the road. Now, I know they're so young, they don't care at all, but down the road, that's going to be something awesome to be able to say that you achieved that and you did that. Cause I think you, of all people, had a million reasons to be like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and stop and I'm going to put this on the back burner. But you didn't. And to the credit of having that cohort, I think that that's so special. I feel like he's going to have a bond with everybody that you are talking to on Teams all the time.
Yeah, totally. And, you know, just to kind of like close the loop on that, I also think my path was not typical. And I think that's really important for all children to know as they're kind of forging their way in the world, that the path to your own personal success is not linear. And sometimes it looks a little jagged, and that's okay. And as long as you have people who are going to support you along the way, that's what's most important.
Yeah. Alex, tell us about how you decided to come into this, or when you decided to join the program.
Yeah, of course. I have to say, I love Shannon's story, and unlike Shannon, um, I never thought I would go back to school. When I went to cosmetology school, it was after I thought I was going to go to school for music years ago, and I bombed an audition. My scholarships fell apart, and so I came into the beauty industry to be a hairdresser as sort of like this backup plan, and I convinced everyone around me that it was a good idea because I would be able to use cosmetology school to go back to college. And as soon as I fell into the industry, I was like, yeah, I'm never going back to college. It became my mission to like prove to the world that you could be successful in the beauty industry without a college degree. And I think everyone on this call could probably attest to the fact that it is certainly possible to have a successful career in the beauty industry without a degree. However, really, you know, when the opportunity came, we sort of learned about it at L'Oreal, and I was really trying to grow beyond the chair. I wanted to take my career to a place outside of being in the salon. And so I was working full time as an educator, traveling to different salons all over the Southeast. And I was trying to grow and get a job in the New York office at L'Oreal. And so I think for anyone that has aspirations beyond the chair, like having a degree certainly helps with that. And so I was on my way, but this opportunity sort of presented itself right at the right moment. And I knew I had to go for it because it meant that more opportunities would open themselves up to me in the industry. And yeah, that was sort of what triggered me to go. And really what I learned through the process is that I was actually just proving to myself that I could get a bachelor's degree. It was, you know, I said originally I'm proving to the world that you don't need a degree. And what I really needed to prove was to me that I could do it, all while working a more than full-time job. Yeah. And I moved across the country in the middle of this process. So it was a lot.
Yeah. I mean, definitely sacrifices made. And I think that the difference, or I think that a lot of people in the beauty industry that are starting out, so even if you're like in high school thinking about, you know, coming into this, or if this is a career change, you're not always thinking, oh, I could work for L'Oreal, or you just haven't been exposed to that yet. And so I think that it seems natural that, you know, through your time of growing in the industry and wanting more things for yourself, more than behind the chair, that taking something like this would be so helpful for you. I mean, it makes sense that as you were growing, you know, these opportunities come up. And I love your sentiment that like you were like, oh, I don't have to get it. And then here you are, because that's how life works.
Yeah. And I mean, I want people to know that like there's success to be found in the industry, no matter who you are, no matter what your path is. You know, that's like so important to me. And it's part of why I do what I do now. But with that, like I also learned in the process, you know, when you're behind the chair, especially starting out, it's really tough. And I've always thought it would be nice if we could walk out of cosmetology school with an associate's degree in business, because there's so much we don't understand going through school, cosmetology school, that really dives deep into business and finances and how to manage your money. And I think, you know, this program taught a lot of that. So although it helped us in our L'Oreal careers, I think really for anybody who's looking to grow and take their, you know, be a salon owner, grow to the next level, it can totally help with those types of things as well.
Yeah. Sean, tell us about what you were doing when you found Lead, or Lee found you, or when you joined this program.
I was working as a director and had like 13 direct reports, and I was like super busy. Had a couple of people out on maternity leave, and I was filling in their duties as well. And so it was really like, gosh, is this something I really have the time and energy to take on? But it was one of those things where it's like, I always have believed that I wanted the industry to level up, and I wanted the reputation of the hairdresser to be changed by the public. And I really felt like this was a way to move the needle and to do that. And so I really wanted to be a part of that, and to be a pioneer in that for L'Oreal as well.
So, Sean, when you were in the program, how important was your cohort to you? How did you all lean on each other, and how much of a difference did it make for the people that you were going through this process with?
Oh my God, it was a game changer. Like to know that there were other people who were also going through the same thing as you, who had busy lives, and that was also like working like a full 8 to 9 hour day, and then sitting in front of a computer or taking a class, watching something, just knowing that you weren't in it alone just felt incredible. And also being inspired by how much you could see everyone was learning and changing was really, really inspiring.
Yeah, I think that that's something that I've heard from everybody that I've talked to about LEAD is just how close that you get with your cohort. And I think that with you all having this similar experience, being all over the country, being in different places in different roles, I know that that's like such a big part of it. So I think that that system of knowing that you're not going into this alone, that you will be with other people that will be there to encourage you, I think like should make you feel a lot better about this process. Alex, talk to me a little bit about what this has done for your career now. I know that you had mentioned, learning those extra things that maybe you didn't learn in beauty school, obviously fine tuning and just really advancing your knowledge. Tell me how you've been able to implement that. I know that you all just graduated recently, so you haven't been too long into the industry with your official degree, but what does that look like for you in your role now?
Yeah, I think I was recently telling this story to a magazine questionnaire about this experience, and I left this program within a month of graduating, getting a promotion into a new elevated role. So I was promoted from manager of digital education to senior manager of digital education on the brand that I work on. And I'm saying that to say, what I do feel like I took away a lot from this program is leadership skills and things that I was really able to use to help navigate conversations around my career. So I find in meetings I'm more effective. I do a better job of listening than I do speaking these days, I think. And really, I've been able to have conversations around my growth and what I want out of my career that have been extremely effective. And I think a lot of that came from some of the leadership programs and like whole body health classes that we take throughout this program that I think we need so much in this industry. And we took a lot of classes around like wellness and psychology and my mental health changed a lot through this process too. Like I'm a super anxious person, and I've learned different ways to manage and navigate that, all while trying to balance a full-time job and school. So it's the classes themselves, of course, are practical and able to be used tomorrow, but it's also the experience of managing your work, your home life, and school life over the course of a 3-year program that I think really have allowed me to be effective in all aspects of my life, but especially in navigating, my career trajectory and moving it forward.
Yeah. Shannon, you're nodding. Is that kind of what you took away as well? Was that, kind of where you landed was like, oh, wow, I'm actually like healthier leaving this program than when I started?
Sure. I mean, I will echo all of what Alex has shared, and really just to say that it is a journey of self-discovery that you go on in that 3-year time frame, and I think for each person experiencing it a little bit different, taking different things away. But I do agree that the mindfulness piece of it was huge for me, and managing, work-life balance and still upskilling myself. The leadership piece definitely, I think, is another big one, and really advocating for yourself. Like there's a power in a way that comes from going through something like that and showing what you can do. And, I don't like, there are things that have come my way since that experience that I maybe would have like shied away from. And now on the other side of that experience, I'm I'm all in. Like, I'm not, I know what I'm capable of now in a way that I didn't before.
Yeah, I think that's so amazing. I think more than just like getting your bachelor's degree, I think this is what I'm like so excited. Like I'm smiling so big as you all are telling me this because I think that that's the important part of this program. Like, yes, you're getting your bachelor's degree and all of those things, right? Like it's great to be able to say that, but I think that you built this program around exactly what you need to be successful in this industry. And I think that there's not a lot of understanding of this industry. I think that there's been so many changes in the industry, like especially recently I came into the industry 12 years ago and it's a completely different world than when I came into it. Like I'm in beauty school, so that's changing a lot, which is amazing. But so much of the industry is changing. And I think for you all to like be able to grow with that and really be able to give so much back, I think is so amazing because I think people like you that are working higher up at these companies, obviously it trickles like all the way down. So just preparing you all that are kind of like on the front lines of that, I think is so amazing. And I'm excited for what that's going to do just for the industry as a whole, even if you're just working with people like you, if you're getting to take classes from Alex or Sean, like I think it's amazing that you all have that now. So Sean, what was a class or a program or an assignment, something that stands out to you as really being like life changing?
Well, actually there was a couple that were really big for me. Like I hate saying it now because when I was in it, it was really painful, but I really enjoyed the finance classes and really helped me understand, like I felt more powerful in my ability to understand how to control my money and how to look at it and invest. But equally, I also found that there was a lot of emphasis on different cultures and anthropology and different ways that people in different cultures like work. And I just found that very fascinating in terms of how to connect and relate to other people.
Alex, is there something that stands out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I love Sean's piece there on um, the classes on humanity and different cultures. I think like that was a big one for me. I work a lot in this DE&I space at L'Oreal. Like I'm part of our Out at L'Oreal group, and I work with a lot of different community organizations. And so it's nice on the corporate level, but I think when we're in the salon, like just talking to those of you who work in the salon, like I think that piece is so important. We touch so many different people every day behind the chair, and being able to understand how to better navigate all conversations with all people was super impactful. And so it helps me at work, but it also just helps us in life, like look at the world in a different way. And I always say that salons are the heartbeat of their community, and then going through an experience like this just, I don't know, helps us like really find value in who we are and what we do and how beautiful this industry is. And I just think the whole program, like it's tailored to our industry in a way that nothing else is. Like these professors are specifically chosen to work with us through this process. And so in classes that would traditionally be for an everyday student, they really tailored it to the beauty industry and allowed us to like write about our lived experiences. And I think that that's something that's never been done before, and it's what makes this whole program so impactful.
That's so exciting. We talk to students a lot about how being in the salon and you're working on, you're doing hair for doctors and lawyers and all of these people that are really highly educated, and to just kind of be able to like rub shoulders with those people and be at parties and being able to openly and proudly say like, I'm in the beauty industry, I do hair, or I'm an esthetician, or whatever side you're in. Do you all feel that more now having gone through this program? Or are you like, I deserve to be here and I'm just as qualified and educated as you are? Sean, you're shaking your head. Is that something that you feel, in the group that you're in?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think even the more that we climb our ladders at L'Oreal and stuff, we're exposed more and more to people who had different career paths where, maybe they went into marketing or sales. And so they have different academic backgrounds. And so it was always something that was a little bit of a insecurity, not having the same academic credibility as everyone else. And so now I feel like I can stand toe to toe with everyone. And there's that confidence that it really was a game changer.
Shannon, what was it like when you received your diploma, your bachelor's degree? What did it feel like when you got that in the mail? Who did you show first, or who did you open that with?
With my kids, definitely with my kids. I can proudly say that we all graduated with honors. So I'm going to take that thunder for my whole cohort here.
Gosh,
And
that's
that moment
amazing.
for all of us. I mean, we were all texting with each other, like, did you get your cords? Did you get your cords? Like, we were all so excited. And I was one of the last ones to get them. And I think the ASU administrative office probably has my phone number and picture on the wall somewhere, because I was all over them about where my cords were. So when they came, I opened them with my kids, with my husband. It was a really exciting moment. My husband got flowers that were like ASU colored and like all of that. So it was very, very exciting for so many reasons, being at the end of the journey, of course, so much work for 3 years, but then also being able to celebrate such a big accomplishment with my family.
Alex, what was it like for you to actually have that physical degree in your hand?
Yeah, it was pretty incredible. It was a surreal moment, because I think, when I started this conversation with you today, I was talking about how much I was sort of the anti-college person. Like, I was like, I'm never going back. I'm going to prove that I don't need to do it. And then through this process, I learned how much more I needed to prove to myself. And so to finally get it, to walk across the stage, to have that whole moment, like, it was surreal. And it's a moment I won't ever forget. I have my degree on the wall right here next to me. So every day while I'm sitting at my desk, I can like appreciate that moment. And it was so cool to just experience it with like such an incredible group of people from all different parts of the country, like you said. And hit the finish line together. It was really, really amazing.
Yeah. Alex, do you want to tell us about how you have spoken to people in the industry about this? What are you sharing with them? Has anyone come up to you and said, hey, Alex, I saw you did this, or you're doing this lead program. Should I do it? I'm thinking about, like, what's your advice to people that want to jump into this?
Yeah, it's actually constant, especially like old friends and people who've seen it on Facebook or on LinkedIn that have been in the industry a long time. And we get the question all the time. And I always tell people two things. One, make sure that you're ready to take this on. Like, it is a commitment. It's a time commitment. And when you're working a full-time job, you really have to be dedicated to putting in the time and the work to make it happen. But if you're ready, it's an experience you'll never have anywhere else. And it's something that I believe anyone in the industry really should do. Like, it truly has elevated the way that I approach almost everything I do in my career and in my personal life. And for me, it proves to people how resilient you are and how much you can take on. Like, I think sometimes in our lives, especially today with the inundatedness we have with our phones and our kids and our work, like, it is so hard. You feel like you're so busy, and to think about taking something else on almost feels impossible for anyone. And I think the reality is you have more time than you think. And it really allowed me to like put my phone down in a lot of ways, focus my attention on something that really mattered. And that is all stuff that I've taken with me beyond the program. So 100%, I tell everyone to do the program. Just ensure that you're ready to make the time commitment, and it will change your career.
Shannon, how do you feel about making sure, like, to be ready? What kind of tips can you give somebody that's maybe thinking about doing this to clear their schedule? Like, what are the tips that you have to add this on and to be successful in this program?
Yeah, that's a good question. I agree with Alex. I think that you really have to be self-disciplined and create those blocks of time. Time blocking was a big thing for me. It's a big thing for me in my everyday anyway. But it really became super important when I was involved in the program. I would also say, there are things every day that we think are really important and really urgent, and they're not, right? So you have to learn how to prioritize your task list, figure out what is urgent, what's important, how you're gonna, delegate that stuff out to other people around you, maybe yourself, et cetera. But I would say that's the biggest thing, is just practice self-discipline. Think about how you can be more organized to make the time that you need. And make sure that you build habits. So like for me, a daily habit would be getting onto my account and making sure I see, you know, in the Canvas platform, what I have to do, and then planning my week kind of around that. So thinking about what I have in front of me, work, personal, school, and then time blocking to get it all accomplished.
What was the time commitment? I know, I'm sure it changed throughout the program, but what would you say like a realistic estimate of the time would be?
Yeah, I mean, I would say anywhere from like 10 to 15 hours a week on schoolwork, whether it's like really doing work, like, you know, ticky-tacky working, or reading or reviewing the material. But I would say about 10 to 15 hours a week on average. There were absolutely classes that were not as much of a demand on time, and kind of once you got it done, you could get it done and just move on to the next. It kind of ebbed and flowed. It never felt like it was too much. But again, just that organization piece of it made all of the difference. And if you let it get outside of your habit, then it could become overwhelming, like coming back from a break or something like that, if you got so far away from it.
And it's self-guided, right? It's so outside, there's a few classes that you have to be physically live with your professor for, but so much of it is like self-directed learning. So you can kind of make it work on your time. So the nice thing is, no matter your schedule, you could probably find ways to make the program work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's got to be super helpful, because if you are somebody that's like, I'm going to stay up till 3:00 in the morning to get this done, or if you're like, I'm going to wake up at 3:00 in the morning to get this
Right.
done, you can kind of do that however you want. And even being in your cohort, I'm sure that you all were still able to stay in contact whenever everybody was working on it, you know, just to be able to be there to help. Sean, how does it feel to be a part of the first graduating class? Is this something that you're going to carry on with you and just kind of carry with pride?
Absolutely. I mean, we're like pioneers in this, right? So it's, you know, we're really kind of really trailblazing for other people and setting an example. And it just feels really, really amazing to carry that and to be proud of that.
Alex, I have a question, and maybe we'll kind of go around and answer this. But one thing that I'm wondering, just as we've been talking, is at what point, I know you all started this at different points in your career, right? With being with beauty school students, they also have the opportunity to finish beauty school and literally go on into the next 3 years to look at this as a 4-year degree. And I know we've said, you know, everybody's path is different and there's a different way to do this. Do you have a recommendation of, you know, getting out of beauty school, getting some experience, and then going back into lead? Or do you feel like this is something that maybe you would have done right out of beauty school? What's your kind of advice or tip on that? Again, understanding that everyone's path is different and timing's different. What do you think that you would have been able to do this right out of beauty school?
Tough question, but I love the question. I think, and I'm saying this because I was in the industry for probably 12 years or so before going back for this degree. And because of that, I feel like I had so much industry experience and life experience that made me so much more dedicated as an adult learner to go back to school. I started beauty school right out of high school. So, you know, I think of myself trying to do this when I was in college at, you know, 32 years old. I was like, wow, if I were to do this 10, 12 years ago, I don't know that I would have been nearly this committed to the time commitment that it takes to do this program. Now, saying that, if you're an organized person and like you want what you want out of your career and you're ready to make the time commitment, I 100% think that someone right out of beauty school could do this program, because then it's done, it's out of your way, and you can take it with you wherever. And if you're someone who's like just going back and having a change in career, like, or just going back to school in a little later in life, like, why not take this along with you right away? So looking back, I'm like, it would have been great to do this so long ago, but also my career path helped land me here at the right time in the right space. So I don't know, if you're contemplating doing it, explore it for sure, no matter where you are in your career. But I sort of like life to take us where it's meant to be at the right time. And so the decision is yours to make. You know what's best for you in your career. But if you need me to be the one to tell you to go, I'll tell you to go. How's that?
Shannon, what's your thought on this? Is this something you would have been able to do at 18, 19 years old?
Not for me. No, definitely not. This was something that, to Alex's point, right, it was the right time in my life to take this on. There was no way that I would have been able to take this on graduating from cosmetology school. So I think you really do just have to know yourself. You have to know what you're willing to put in, because this program's like anything else in life. You give what you get. If you're going to be in it at 70%, you're going to get 70% back. So I think you need to be ready to go in and give it 100% and really want it in order for you to get the most out of it. So I think, again, anybody could do it at any point, but it's who you are as a person that's going to really determine when the right time is for you.
Mm-hmm. Sean, what do you think?
I would have done it right after beauty school. I'm such a pragmatist, and like I know that it would have really enriched my older self. Telling my younger self would be like, you should do this because it's going to make your life behind the chair that much more powerful and enriched. So I would have done it right after beauty school for sure, 100%.
Yeah. I think there's certain students that I'm like, okay, like you could definitely do this. And some students that I'm like, just go live life a little bit and then come back to it. It is something that is truly so personal. I do want to ask you all, I know we only have a little bit of time left, but I do want to ask you all, what your family thought of this. I think that, I don't know what your experience was, from telling your family that you're coming into the beauty industry, because I know a lot of people have an experience where it's like not super supportive, or maybe, we'll just let them do whatever they want to do, but maybe not as encouraging. Has family or friend perception of the beauty industry changed a little bit since you have done this? Alex, we'll start with you.
Yeah. I told this story at graduation, but I certainly, when I decided to go, my parents were supportive of my cosmetology journey, but my extended family, my grandparents and aunts and uncles were all like, this is a terrible idea. I had high school guidance counselors tell me, it's so bad, your feet are going to hurt, your back's going to hurt, you can't make money. So I was pretty discouraged from going into the industry. And then I think like I kind of became like the black sheep because I decided to do hair and didn't take the career path. And my cousins went straight to college, and they were sort of like the pride and joys, and they still are. I love them to death. But what I will say is neither of them finished college. And at 34, I was when I graduated. I was the first person in my like immediate extended family to graduate with a bachelor's degree. So you go from being the black sheep to the pride and joy, just like that.
Wow.
I think for anybody, to say that you can't make any money, your feet are gonna like that. This industry is anything less than absolutely incredible. They're wrong, and don't wait to prove to yourself that you can do this. Like if you're doubting yourself at all, and you're misplacing that doubting yourself on proving people that you don't need a degree. Like I think what I learned is like I could have done this. I probably could have done this all along. And so the family was like, yeah, I mean, they're just beyond ecstatic.
That's amazing. Sean, what about you?
Yeah, so I come from a family where everyone did school or did something, and so it was going into hair was a little bit of like a, ooh, why are you doing that? And so I had a lot to prove, and so I'm really happy to say though now I have two nieces who just graduated beauty school, and one is looking into the lead program. And my family could not be prouder or happier knowing that they see me as an example for them, and having a career path that could be, rewarding and successful. So it's really been a game changer for my family and how they perceive the industry for sure.
That's amazing. Like that's goal, right? Like that makes me so happy to even hear that that they're excited to went to beauty school, and then leading them into this too is so amazing. Shannon, what do you think?
I don't know that anybody in my family had thoughts about beauty school one way or another, right? Like I come from kind of a blue collar family, tradesmen, different things like that. So I don't think anybody thought negatively about it, but I certainly don't think they understood what a beautiful life it would afford me, starting there. So I think that having them seeing what I've accomplished, and most of the accomplishments coming during my years as a hairstylist working behind the chair, I don't know that they ever saw that as a life that I could build. And then certainly not getting the degree, right? So I think, each experience was unique for everybody in my family.
Yeah. Well, I love that. I think that this is definitely the beginning of something huge. I think in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, I'm just really excited to revisit and talk about where this is at that point. Because like you said, you all are the first class. Like you guys really are the pioneers and the people that said, I'm going to trust this. I'm going to, without having experience of other people to say, oh, this is what it's going to be like. And I do think that there has to be a special quality inside of you and other people that you did this program with as the first to say, yeah, I trust this and I'm going to do this. So I think that something really big is going to come out of this. And I'm just really excited to have people like you to be able to talk to, to share your experience so that you can lead and help other people into this, because I think adding this bachelor's degree on is just going to be huge. And just the way that the industry is being elevated from it is really, really special. So thank you all so much for being here with me today. And thank you for sharing your stories and your experience of LEAD. And congratulations. I'm seriously I think you all are superheroes for being able to do this with everything else that you're doing in the industry, and your careers seriously have only grown since doing this. So it definitely didn't put you behind or anything to add on this program. So thank you guys so much for sharing your stories, and we'll have to do an update soon.
Thank you, Bobbi. And thanks for what you do for the future of our industry. It's so important. So thank you.
Thank you guys. All right. Well, have a good rest of your day, and we will definitely get together soon.
LEAD, Rolf's Global Institute, powered by L'Oreal USA PPD, represents a new era in beauty. LEAD has created the world's first college and university degree program pathway for beauty professionals, transforming the future of the beauty industry through higher education. The goal of this global movement is to create a new future for beauty professionals, providing them with a wider range of opportunities. It's time for beauty professionals to enjoy the financial freedom, impact, and respect that they deserve. LEAD also provides scholarship opportunities to eligible students worldwide. You are invited to join this global initiative and be part of the future. For more information, please go to leadinstitute.degree.